9 crazy things MrBeast spends his millions on. Famous YouTuber Jimmy Donaldson, known as MrBeast, is widely popular for his video content, which is a mixture of showing off his wealth and the charitable acts he does. He's even deleted videos from his channel in an attempt to hide some of the more extravagant purchases he's made. Donaldson started creating YouTube content when he was only 13 back in 2012. He achieved internet celebrity in 2017 when he made a video titled Counting to 100,000. It took him 40 hours to eventually finish counting, and he had to speed the video up in places so that it was only 24 hours of video. The gimmick paid off, and he now has over 37 million subscribers. With that kind of fan base, and therefore that much money, it's no surprise that he spent his money on some pretty crazy stuff. Here's 9 crazy things MrBeast spends his millions on. Make sure to watch until the end because the number 1 entry will surprise you. Number 9. Charity. MrBeast is very much into philanthropy. He's made many videos depicting himself giving away insane amounts of money to causes that he likes. For instance, in December 2018, he gave a homeless shelter $100,000 worth of items, earned $30,000 for the Wounded Warrior Project, gave $70,000 to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and another $10,000 to an animal shelter in his area. In 2019, he was part of Team Trees, a YouTuber effort to raise money for the National Arbor Day Foundation. On May 27, 2020, the project had raised $22 million. A tree was planted for every dollar raised, so that's a lot of trees. Number 8. Gold Pizza. In one video, MrBeast took his friends out to try some of the most expensive dishes in America. The excursion began with an ordinary $1 slice of pizza and a $2 hot dog, then moved on to golden chicken wings that cost $64, a $100 milkshake, and a $250 grilled cheese sandwich. They then got a $1,000 ice cream sundae, steaks with a $2,000 price tag, and a pork dish that featured a sauce made with a 26-year-old scotch that cost him $3,000, and a tomahawk steak made with coffee that had been processed by a mountain fox that set him back $4,000, followed by some fancy $5,000 tacos made with squid ink and caviar. MrBeast said, "I feel like the more expensive the food gets, the more it just throws flavor explosions at you." But the pizza they bought really took the cake. It was a golden pizza which was prepared by a private chef. It cost $70,000 because it included an ounce of gold, Parmesan bechamel that was a decade old, Japanese beef that had been marinated in grape juice, and Hudson Valley foie gras that had been flambéed with a bottle of apple juice that was worth $6,000. It was topped with white truffle shavings from Italy worth $4,000 and a whopping $16,000 worth of the most rare type of caviar that money can buy, albino caviar. The good news is that he gave what he and his friends didn't eat to other restaurant guests and the staff. We're betting that the guests and the staff really appreciated it. Number 7. Lamborghini. For an experimental video, MrBeast once wore a costume designed to make him look homeless and destitute, then went to a Lamborghini dealership to see if they would still do business with someone who looked homeless. He asked the dealer questions like, "What does it feel like to sleep in?" The dealer treated him quite well despite his appearance, and he eventually bought a $200,000 Lamborghini for the gag. He let his friend drive the car, and the friend proceeded to accidentally scratch someone else's car with it. So they sat in the parking lot and waited for the owner to show up. When he did, MrBeast gave the scratch car's owner $9,000 to make up for the damage. Number 6. Wrecking and then replacing a friend's house. MrBeast made a video depicting himself completely destroying his friend Meredith's house. Her husband and brother gave him permission beforehand. The husband even went as far as to make him a list of things he could tear up, break, or otherwise damage, and then MrBeast proceeded to do just that. He used a chainsaw on the furniture, spray painted graffiti on the walls, and even caught a refrigerator on fire. When Meredith came home to the wreckage, he gave her and her husband around $30,000 so that they could redecorate and remodel the home. It would have probably been more helpful if he'd simply bought new furniture and appliances himself. He basically made more work for the poor woman, which is borderline mean. But it seems like he meant well. In this way, the family got to choose their own furnishings and decorations, instead of being stuck with someone else's decorating styles and tastes. Number 5. $1 million giveaway contest. In another showing of extreme spending, MrBeast gave away $1 million. The money was stored in a chest-high clear box, where 4 contestants participated in a last-to-leave challenge for a chance to win it all. How did he pick who got to compete? The 4 were winners of other previous challenges. One hand had to remain placed on the case the whole time. The last one with a hand on the case won. It took 36 hours, and the contestant named Mark won. This was sort of a cool way to give money back to his fans who had been participating on his channel and winning contests already, while also creating new and interesting content. Great idea, MrBeast. Number 4. His BMW. At one point, MrBeast uploaded a video in which he showed off his prize BMW. He later deleted the video, possibly in an attempt to keep the world from knowing what he had. It set him back around $100,000. His BMW is a car enthusiast's dream with scissor doors, meaning they swing up instead of out like a Lamborghini or like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, along with a beautiful interior and some really cool interior lighting. You can find clips of the video if you look around a bit. He hasn't ever given a definitive reason for deleting the video. It may be that he didn't want to show off to other people what he had, but that theory doesn't exactly make sense when he literally gives away so much money. It may also be that he was afraid of being too much of a show-off, but we think he has every right to be proud of this exquisite vehicle and would love to see more of it. Number 3. Apps. You're probably automatically wondering how he spent exorbitant amounts of money on apps, considering they're usually fairly cheap. However, there are some that are ludicrously expensive. MrBeast bought and downloaded a few such apps so that everyone would know why they were so expensive and show everyone what the apps actually do. First, he bought one called Only for the Richest, which costs $150 and literally doesn't do anything. The next was a $400 app entitled DDSGP. This was an app that contains pictures, diagrams, and videos for dentists. The next one was called Vuvuzela World Cup Horn Plus for $200. All it did was play a Vuvuzela noise. The next app was the I Am Rich app, which cost $400. The most expensive of the apps that he purchased was a $1,000 app entitled VIP Black. Basically what it does is give you deals and tips on vacation destinations, hotels, and lounges. Most of these apps wouldn't be worth their hefty price tags to many people, so MrBeast sort of did us all a service by showing us what the expensive ripoffs they are. Number 2. Golden Steak. Apparently eating expensive food and sharing it with his friends is something MrBeast is amused at doing. While trying to find the most expensive foods they could find, MrBeast and his friends made a video detailing their culinary adventure. They started it off right with some $1,000 Kobe beef. He then dared his friends to eat a grasshopper, promising $100 if they could. He then ups the ante and offers a $1,000 reward if they can eat a mixture of crickets and grasshoppers. After they finish their shenanigans, the main attraction is brought out. A golden steak worth $10,000. It was made with an edible gold coating. The only other person to order it was Canelo Alvarez, a Mexican boxer. The chef fed the steak to MrBeast for an extra bit of decadent luxury. It's possible that the chef figures that for that type of price, the service was expected to be as extraordinary as possible, and he definitely went the extra mile to provide it. Number 1. He bought the entire store. In one video, MrBeast went to a Save-A-Lot grocery store and literally bought everything in the store. This stunt required him to get several helpers and a van. He spent more than $70,000. The receipt was so long that he wore it around his neck as a tie. What did he do with the food? He donated all of it to a food shelter. He and his helpers proudly helped load box after box into the shelter to be distributed. This was extraordinarily kind of him and surely helped many people. Many people joke about buying the whole store, but MrBeast is one of the few people who actually went and did it. It's not unusual that people who have millions of dollars spend their money in ways that the rest of us wouldn't think to spend it. But what's great about MrBeast's spending habit is that he spends a lot of money on charity and helping other people, and it's quite visible that he's doing so. It would be great if more internet celebrities and millionaires would do things like this. That's it for this list of 9 crazy things MrBeast spends his millions on. Did any of the entries on this list surprise you? Did we leave any out? Comment below and let us know what you thought. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get more top 5 awesome content.